16-year-old Kit was sent to a royal boarding school in New York, and she hates it. Kit is our protagonist, while Madame Nerd is our antagonist, trying to lock the girls in the school and using them as experiments for mind control. Our conflict is an external one, and Kit has no way to talk to her family until Christmas. And most letters don't get out. She sits at her desk writing a letter that she will sneak out to her friend.
Dear Tracy, this is going to seem like a crazy letter. I wish you were here so I could talk to you in person. You're always so rational. I'm sure you could come up with an answer. And yet, when I think about it, I can't even tell you the question. All I know is that something is very wrong. Sometimes I look at myself in the mirror, and it's like looking at a stranger. My face is the same, except thinner. We all seem to be getting thinner, and there's an odd look to it. It may be the circles under our eyes. But it's not just physical. We're changing in other ways too. Melinda has stopped coming to classes and just stays in her room all day, and half the time she doesn't even come to meals. Madame Dura has food sent to her, but when the tray comes back, hardly any is gone. When Linda does come down, once in a great while, she looks like a little white ghost, all skin and bones and big staring eyes. The eyes don't seem to focus on us. They look through or past us, as though they are seeing something the rest of us can't.
Come in.
Kit, I wrote another poem. Listen. Out of the wind that rules the realm of night, and lonely stars held captive in the sky, I search for peace that death may pass me by.
Just stop. I don't want to hear it.
Huh? Madam says nothing's wrong. We have talent, she says. Tracy, am I losing my mind? Because in my dreams, I'm at the piano playing. Not playing poorly the way I usually do, but very well. And there's never any sheet music in front of me. In the beginning, the music was always soft and beautiful, and the dream is happy. But it's not like that anymore. Now the music tears through me with so much power that it is a physical pain. Stepping out into the hall, Kit pulled the door closed behind her and locked it. The air was warmer here, but she still found herself shivering. At the far end of the hall, the dim bulb threw out its faint circle of light, and the whole corridor seemed made out of shadows. Slowly, Kit began to walk down the hallway towards the stairs. In the mirror, at the hall's end, she saw a thin, white-faced girl in a heavy knit sweater moving toward her. Is that me? She thought. Momentarily, startled by the girl's appearance, the dullness of the eyes, the limp, uncombed hair, the heavy, methodical walk. Was this the same Kit Gordy who had bounced down this hallway only a matter of months ago, eyes shining, face alight, to greet her new classmates? I look awful, Kit thought wretchedly, and then, as she tilted her head, she caught sight of him, the person walking behind her. In horror, she stood there, frozen, one foot lifted for the next step, her eyes staring into the other eyes reflected in the mirror. It can't be, she told herself. There can't be anyone behind me. The hall was empty when I came out of my room. Anyone behind me now would have had to come out of it with me, and that's impossible. And yet the man was there, his image as clear as her own, standing so close behind her that it was incredible she did not feel his breath upon the back of her neck. Dragging in her breath, Kit did the only thing she could do. She closed her eyes and screamed. Once she started, she could not stop. Scream after scream tore from her throat in great ragged shrieks. For what seemed like a million years she screamed, until, as though from another world, she heard the sounds of footsteps pounding up the stairs, and a voice calling her name, and strong hands closed upon her shoulders. Jewel's voice said, Kit, what is it? What's happened? There, Kit managed to sob. They're behind me. There's nothing behind you. Kit opened her eyes and stared up at him. At the fine-boned, perfectly featured face bent close to her own, the heavy-lidded dark eyes now filled with real concern. Gone was the anger that had flowed the day she had intruded upon him in the music room while he was playing the Schubert tape. Gone was the discomfort that existed between them since. He cares, she thought. And even though, through her terror, she clutched at the realization, he does care. There was someone, she said chokingly. A man. He was walking behind me. I saw him reflected in the mirror. There couldn't have been. There was. Okay, you're okay. It's all right. Jules pulled her against him, so that her face was buried against his shirt. and his hand ran lightly over her hair. You saw a shadow, or perhaps it was your own reflection. It was a man! She tried to cry the words, but they were muffled by the warm bulk of his shoulder. From somewhere beyond them she heard other voices, and she knew that they were coming, all of them, from the floor below. In another moment, they would be here surrounding her, patting and comforting her, telling her in rational terms what it was she had been imagining. Pressing her hand against Jules' chest, she shoved him away from her so that she could see his face. "Please," she said frantically, "you must believe me. You have to believe me." "Catherine," the voice was Madame Durrett's. "What in the world has happened?" "What is it, Kit?" "Kit, are you all right? Was that you we heard?" She had known it would be this way. Professor Farley, Ruth, Sandy, all of them worried. She felt Sandy's hand touch her arm, a silent reassurance that their friendship was still intact. Even if no one else did, Sandy would believe her. "She's frightened," Jules explained. She thought she saw somebody in the mirror. "Somebody?" "A man. I saw a man." Kit struggled to get control of her voice. "I didn't just think I saw him. I did see him. He was just as real as I am." "What did he look like?" Professor Farley asked her. His keen old eyes were regarding her intently. I don't know," Kit said haltingly. "The hall's so dark. I couldn't see him very well, and my own reflection was partially blocking him. But he was there. There's no doubt about it." "Then where has he gone?" Madame Durrett asked matter-of-factly. She gestured toward the stretch of empty hallway leading back to Kit's door. "If someone had been there, Cher, he would have to still be there. If he had ran past you, he would have had to pass us on the stairs." "He could have gone back," Sandy suggested timidly. She dropped her hand and slipped it into Kit. "Kit's room and mine are both down at the end of that hall. He might have gone into one of them." "You keep your rooms locked, don't you?" Ruth asked. She sounded more interested than worried. Her eyes were aglitter with subdued excitement. "Yeah, but still..." Kit could tell from Ruth's face that she, too, was remembering the instance of the missing portrait, when a locked door had been no deterrent to an invader. She knows something, Kit thought. Somehow, Ruth has gone a step ahead of the rest of us. "Well, there's one way to be sure of things, said Professor Farley. "Give me your keys, girls, and Jules and I will check your rooms. If there's any possible chance that there's someone in this building who doesn't belong here, we want to know about it." Sandy and Kit both handed him their keys. In silence, they watched the two men go down the hall and enter the first room and then the other. It did not take long. "All empty," Professor Farley said. "There's nobody in your closets or under the beds. I'm afraid you are imagining things, young lady. I can see how one might, too. The way the shadows shift about. Walking toward the mirror gives one a strange sensation." "But I wasn't imagining it," Kit exclaimed, and then, a bit doubtfully, "He seemed so real." "I don't like it here. Any of it, Tracy. I don't want to stay here any longer. I don't care if this is all in my imagination. I still don't want to be here. Please, Tracy, please, come get me out. Come get us all."
Down a Dark Hall, written by Lois Duncan. We liked this book because of the mysteries and the suspension, and we would recommend it to anybody who likes thrillers due to the silent aspect of horror. You can find it in most libraries and bookstores, and Miss Herman's has it on her bookshelf. Thanks for watching.